Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to build Speed Racer's Mach 5 in 1/25 scale from Polar Lights. Now, I've always been a fan of Speed Racer, and I can still remember watching it on one of our first color TVs back in the early 70s. And as far as the Mach 5, well, it is still one of my all-time favorite cars and has been an automotive inspiration of mine for my entire life. Now, I've built a couple of these already. I bought my first Mach 5 back in 2000 when they first came out, and the one I purchased was a snap-together kit. Now, I did build that one, but at the same time, I was kind of disappointed that it was a snap-together kit, and then shortly after they came out with a glue-together kit. So I purchased this kit back in 2000, it was probably 2001 when I bought this one, and it sat in the box in my stash for many years, and then back in 2021, I built this one. Now, this is a good kit. It's the kit that normally the engine compartment opens and it has all kinds of extra stuff, but it's not the greatest. So I'm not sure if they've upgraded in this one because this kit here is the latest version from 2021. So if there are any differences, I'll let you guys know. Now, a friend of mine from work got me this kit for Christmas, so I'm gonna build this one for him. So after I get it built, I'll mount it in a nice display case and he can add it to the tchotchke shelf in his office. So KW, thank you, and this one's for you. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the unboxing. All right, right off the bat, we've got a chrome tree. Got our saw blades, the wheel halves, disc brakes, knockoffs. All right, so this pretty much looks exactly like the one from 2000. Here's our body. Body actually looks a little cleaner than the old one, but now that may just be me. All right, let's see what else we got. We've got some clear parts. We've got two windshields. You can do it as the domed enclosure for when he goes underwater or when it's raining. And we've got the front windshield, the normal front windshield. We also have the headlight covers. We have some nice soft tires here. All right, let's get these open. Okay, here we have some of the interior parts, dashboard, tonneau covers, steering wheel, the cover and the pedals. Okay, pretty nicely detailed. Here we have our jack stands, some steering components, exhaust system, engine. Okay, here we have the bottom of the chassis. Again, this doesn't look any different than the original version they put out in 2000. A little bit of flash here, but that'll clean up nicely. Here we have our seats, the rear wings for the body, the headrest, seat belts, the engine cover. We have some loose parts here. There's an axle, tank, steering components. These are so if you don't use the jack stands, these are the feet to cover the holes. This is the steering column here. We have the rear part of where the engine will go. And we have the interior, the cockpit. All right, so let's see what else we got in the box. We've got our decals, which I'm not gonna open. These were pretty good decals. I've hoped they've gotten a little better though, because when you put the M on the hood, it was really thin before and it tended to crack and tear. All right, here's our instructions. These do not look like they have changed at all either. Yep. So pretty basic installation, or pretty basic assembly. Yeah, here's your jacks and your saw blades and all that. So I'm going to do a little bit of a different paint scheme on this. I want it to more resemble the cartoon than, you know, kind of a real life kind of car. And I might add a few little my own twists here and there. But overall, this will be fun. Again, I've built a couple of these, but it's always fun to build this, and I'm going to do a nice paint job on it. and then we'll get it over to my friend. So, all right, let me clean this all up and we'll get to the build. I'm masking off the ends of the axles where the wheels will attach. This will help later because now when I paint them, the paint won't be on those areas and I won't have a problem snapping the wheels into place. And we are back with the completed build of the Mach 5 from Polar Lights. It was a pleasure to get to build another one of these again. I have built 2 others. And as always with every build, it never fails. Usually you find some new thing that isn't just quite right. So this kit does have its challenges. It's not perfect. Some of the main challenges on this kit were the fit of parts. On this particular one, the body did not want to go together on the chassis. There was a bunch of fitting issues with the interior and how it was fitting up inside the body. I had to trim a lot. I had to do a lot of cutting. That was off camera because it's hard to do that on camera. But eventually everything went together and it came out great. So on this car, I wanted to make it a little closer to the cartoon version. So I did do a couple of things. First of all, I painted it in basic white. I used Tamiya white for the entire body paint job. Came out great. For the interior, I used 2 different kinds of red. I have a dark red and a just standard red to kind of highlight everything. And again, the interior actually came out looking really good on this. I did build the engine and put it in, but with this kit, and this is one of my pet peeves with this kit, in the cartoon it's very obvious because you can see it in several episodes where the engine on this car is definitely not in the back, it's in the front. On this model, they put it in the back. Why? I don't know. But either way, it's one of the pet peeves that drives me crazy. So even though the engine's in there and it's painted, you're never going to see it. For one, the back hatch here that closes does not fit very well, and if you make it so that it opens and closes, it looks horrible. So the engine cover is sealed shut, but the engine is in there. The other thing I did, in the cartoon, there is no headrest. As you can see on the box, there is a headrest here. So I filled in those holes and omitted that, and I think it looks a lot truer to the cartoon interior now. The other thing I did was I added the yellowed headlights, and I did that by just taking the clear parts and painting them with some Tamiya clear yellow. And I think it looks really, really good. In fact, overall the car came out looking really nice. A couple more challenges I had were the decals. These decals on the door did not lay down very well. I tried and tried and tried, just did not do it. The M on the hood ripped in a couple places, as is typical on this. So I did have to do some touch-up with putting it back together where it goes and then doing some touch-up with paint to make everything look right. Other than those 2 major issues and the fitting, the car went together great and it came out looking awesome. For the base, I took just your standard display case and I cut the side off the box and I glued it to the bottom of the base of the display case, glued it down, just used some canopy glue. And then after that was dry, I sprayed the back. I masked off the front and the sides. I sprayed the back with some black paint. It's just flat black. And on the other side, it gives it a nice gloss look, and it came out looking really good with a nice little piece of the box on the display case, and it looks really nice. So when the model sits on here, that looks really nice. Now I wanted to display this on the jacks with the saws on the front, but unfortunately the case isn't long enough and it wouldn't fit. So what I'll do is I did complete the saws and the jacks. So what I will do is I'll put these in a little bag and put them underneath the case so my friend can have them if he wants. The other thing I did, the jacks that come with the kit are just, they're too tall. They're like almost twice this length, and the car sits up really high. So what I did was I measured and cut them shorter so that the car didn't sit up as high, because again I wanted to display this in the case with the jacks, but it's not going to happen now. But at least the jacks are still here. You can put them on if you want, and the car's not sitting way up in the air where it looks kind of funny. Alright, so those will go to my friend as well. One thing I noticed that was different on this kit and the kit that I built several years ago, or well, I built the kit a couple years ago, but I purchased it a long time ago. The decals are definitely different. As you can see on the door on my version, it's a smaller 5 and it's kind of oblong, where the new version is larger and it's round. I think the new one looks better, although the decal, like I said, had some challenges. In fact, you can't see on camera, but my decal on this one had challenges too. So Polar Lights, if you're listening, get a new decal sheet, or whoever's making your decal sheet, they need to be a little bit better. Because with the exception of those decal sheets, well, that and where the engine goes, that's my only pet peeve with this kit. Otherwise, it's a really nice little kit. One other thing that I learned on this kit. Now, I received some Chroma Air paint from Spray Gunner a while back. It was sent to me by mistake, and when I reached out to them and said, hey, I didn't order these, they said, oh, sorry about that, just keep them and try them out. So I finally got around to using this Chroma Air aluminum, and oh my gosh, this stuff works great. It's designed for airbrushes. It's an acrylic paint. You shake it well, you put it right in the airbrush, and you spray. Wow, came out great. Looked great, dried great, just really, really nice paint. I'm looking forward to trying the other color I got, which is a gold, but I don't typically spray paint with gold very often. Maybe I'll do another Pinto, I don't know. Anyways, really good paint. So if you're looking for some really good airbrush paint that you don't have to mix up and thin and all that, you just spray it right out of the bottle, this stuff works great. And I also used it with two different needle size. The first one was a 0.1 size needle, and the other one was, I think, a 0.3, but that one worked. They both worked great. So even if you're using a 0.5, it's going to work amazing. So check these out at Spray Gunner. There's an affiliate link in my description. Go ahead and check that out and pick yourself up some of this. I am going to be picking up some more of this and going to be testing out their primary colors on some kits soon, and I'll let you know if they work and how well they work, or if they don't work. Well, that is going to do it for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section below. I read all of them, and I reply to as many as I can. Be sure to remember to check out my Ko-fi page, and also check out my page with my new line of t-shirts that are all scale model themed. They're scale modeler t-shirts designed by a scale modeler. The links are all in the description. Be sure to check them out. And until next time, everyone, be safe out there and go build something.